age is something that doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. Oh my god.
Later that same evening.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, as per the title, you might have known that I'm gonna review slash try top 10 French cheese. So I'm gonna be making it into a part 1 and part 2, where I'm going to try 5 cheese in part 1 and the rest of the 5 cheeses in the part 2. So why it's in the part 1 and part 2? Because I want to enjoy each and every cheese, and I don't want to end up trying all of the cheese in one day and then end up hating every cheese. So this video is going to be all about French cheeses. So all of the cheddar, mozzarella, parmesan, feta, halloumi lovers, you can end up watching this video unless you are here for some new experience. So the obvious question arises here, what exactly is the cheese? So according to the Wikipedia, cheese is a dairy product which is derived from the milk and produced in a wide range of flavor, texture and forms by the coagulation of milk protein casein.
अरे कहना क्या चाहते हो?
So in simple language, cheese is a byproduct of milk, and it's extremely high in fats, especially saturated fats, and moderately high in protein.
तो सीधा सीधा नहीं कह सकते थे?
And now comes the consumption of cheese in France, which is extremely high, as French people are the largest consumers of cheese after Greeks, and as of 2013 it is believed that more than 24.8 kilograms of cheese is consumed per year per capita, which is so much. And there are around more than 1,000 varieties of cheese, and it is believed that 96% of the French people eat cheese, and there are only 4% of the French people they have never eaten cheese. And it is also believed that around 40 to 50% of French people eat cheese regularly on regular basis. So now comes the categorization of cheese, which can be done on the numerous bases, like which animal is being used for their milk, the geographical region, the aging, the texture of the cheese, and many more. So as per the texture, they are mainly divided into 3 categories. The first one is the hard cheese, mostly like the British cheese like cheddar, comté, Beaufort, and so on. Second one is the soft cheese like Brie, Camembert, and Chèvre. And third one is the blue cheese like Rockford, Bleu de Bene, and many more. So as per the different types of milk here in France, majorly 3 types of milks are used. The first one is the cow milk, second one is the goat milk, also known as chèvre, and the third one is the sheep milk, and also known as Eve's milk. And finally, as per the label, they have 2 major labels, AOC and AOP, which is a controlled mark of origin and protected destination of origin. So the first one, the controlled mark of origin, AOC, guarantees the provenance of the milk and also the area where the cheese is being manufactured and matured. And the production zone is determined by the geographical criteria, physical criteria, and historic criteria. So now comes the best part of this video, is the taste test of the cheese. So before tasting the cheese, that I'm going to explain you that when you try or taste the cheese, you go from the mild one to the strongest smelly one. So I'm going to start with the Brie, and then Camembert, then Chèvre, then Roquefort, and then Comté. So these are the cheese. So I'm going to go with the mildest one to the strongest one. So I'm going to start with the Brie.
Brie.
Please don't judge me with my French pronunciation, because I can assure you one thing, that I'm 100% sure my pronunciation is going to be wrong. So Brie is a soft cow milk cheese which is named after a French region which is around 50 miles southeast to Paris, somewhere here. So yeah, so this is one of the softest and the mildest cheese, which is generally eaten as a dessert along with fruits, jams, and some crackers. I think it goes best with the champagne, and I like it with bread also and with crackers also. So yeah, and yeah, there are rules of cutting cheese. Yes, there are rules of cutting cheese. So if you're cutting Brie or any cheese which is in a triangular form, so it comes in the triangular because it usually comes in a wheel, so you cut and they give you in a triangular form. So when you are cutting your cheese, so you are not supposed to cut it from here, because that is considered to be as rude, because the tastiest part of cheese is in the center. So you're supposed to cut it like this if you're being a neutral person. But if you're being an asshole, you can cut it from here. And if you're being too generous, So you can cut it the outside part and let the inside part be left for somebody else. So this one I've already eaten a lot of times. I really like it. So basically there are like two types of brie, majorly two types of brie, known as Brie de Meaux and Brie de Mela. Basically they are the two towns in the region Brie, and they are named after that, and they both are AOC, AOP protected and controlled. And if you really want to enjoy your cheese, so just when you're ready to eat, before I think half an hour or 45 minutes, just take them out from the fridge and keep it in the open environment at room temperature, and then have it. I've mostly had brie with the bread, baguette and cracker, and this is the first time I'm gonna try it with the jam and see how soft it is. And I've heard somewhere also then you can make a tart out of it, a fruit tart, and it goes really well. Oh my god. So brie can also be enjoyed by the people who doesn't like the taste of cheese or the fragrance of cheese which is too strong. So this is very neutral cheese, so you can enjoy it because it's very creamy and neutral. It's just like a cream instead of cheese. There is also a famous saying by some of the king back then that the brie was loved both by rich and poor, which has preached equality before we have ever imagined it to be. So I think it's a good cheese. So now let's move to the second one, which is Camembert, which is just like brie, is also one of the soft cheeses, which depends on the aging and how mature the cheese is. If the cheese is not that much mature, it's going to be soft, runny. If the cheese is matured over say 12 weeks, it's going to be hard and little bit yellowish. So I think this one is not that much matured. So let's see. So Camembert cheese is from the Camembert region, which is in the Normandy, and it's one of the, I think, famous French cheeses. So, and when you're cutting the round cheese, you're supposed to cut it like this conical way in the center. And I think it's more runny than the brie. So in taste it's very close to brie, but I think this has little stronger taste because this was tasting very creamy along with the jam. Maybe I'm gonna try this little raw. This is a little salty, and this is pretty much neutral. And with these like soft cheeses, you can have the outer covering, the corners of the cheese, and with the hard cheese I think you cannot consume these, but I consume everything. And this one also goes well with the white wines and champagne. So now let's move to the third one, which is chèvre, and which in literal translation in English means goats. So chèvre is the general term used for the goat cheese, and all of the variety has a specific name. Like this one is the bouche de chèvre, and then you have Côte de Chevenol, which comes in little rounds, and that the Côte de Chevenol is one of the by far one of the best cheese which goes well with the baguette. And then you have Floret, and then you have Valenciennes, and you have a lot of like goat cheeses which are very famous. And I think they are in the midway, like they are not very smelly, like very harsh and very strong fruity nutty flavor, and they are not even very mild also, but they have little, I think, salty taste to it. I think the goat milk generally is little salty, I think. So yeah, so I think as per me the chef goes best with baguette. But what I think that the bouche de chèvre is a little dry than the Côte de Chevenol. The surprising part is generally French people do eat this chèvre cheese as a dessert. I mean, a salty dessert? Are you seriously kidding me? I'm gonna try this with the wine. I think it's tasting well. You know, wine. So now move to the fourth one, which is Rockford, which is I think one of the smelly cheese in this tray. So Rockford I think is one of the famous blue cheese all over the world, and people across the world had tried to recreate this cheese, but nobody could achieve it. And yeah, this cheese is made from the sheep's milk, and this cheese is from the region Rockford, which is in the southern part of France. And this cheese is being made since the Middle Ages, and over 18,000 tons of Rockford is being produced every year. And French people generally prefer it as a dessert, which is really hard to believe for me, and usually American and British use it as a dip for their salads and things, and I find it really smelly. I think if I'll have to eat it, I might be eating it with maybe salads, dip as a dip, or maybe with the bread. It's not bad actually. This one I'm having for the first time. It's very similar to the cheese Bleu de Vin, which I have eaten before, but I think this is better than Bleu de Vin. It's tasting better than Bleu de Vin. So this cheese comes from the caves in Rockford near the Spanish borders, and the blue part of this, it's the powdered bread, and then they mix it with the curd before making the cheese, and then they find this mold. It goes well with olive. Yes. I like it. I like it. So now let's move to the last cheese, which is Comté, which is one of the hard cheeses and which is little fruity or nutty in taste. And this is made from the unpasteurized cow milk, which is from the region Franche-Comté, which is in the eastern part of France. And this cheese I think is one of the most produced cheese, around 64,000 tons annually. So this comes in two varieties. First one is the fruity and then the salty one. And this cheese, the region Franche-Comté, is extended towards the Swiss border. So this cheese is believed to be similar as Gruyere cheese. I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't kill me. But I think I'm gonna name it here. It's called as Gruyere. And to me, this tastes very similar to Beaufort and Cantal. They all somehow has the same taste. As you can see that I've already eaten this, and according to me this goes well with the red wine, specifically the dry red wines. And it can be used as how you use the Parmesan cheese, you grate it and then as a topping to your pasta or to your patties or to your breads, and it tastes very good as cooked also. But if you want to eat as raw, why not? I think first I'm gonna have it just. So if there's going to be one cheese that I would love to eat raw, I think that is going to be Comté, because this itself has a lot of flavor in it. I don't need to team it up with anything else, because Roquefort has a good flavor, but I don't like the flavor itself. I might like it with olives or bread, but this I think I love the flavor itself only. And all of these cheese, it goes well with the sweety flavory thing. This goes well with the bread. So the sister of this cheese, which is Gruyere, is also used in the Swiss national dish, which is Swiss fondue or just the fondue. So I think they melt it, and they are also used in raclette also. My landlady told me that this is not meant to be eaten of the hard cheese. She made me taste the Beaufort, and she said this is not meant to be eaten. And I love this part. This is the best part of cheese. I wait for the end, and then at the time of lunch everybody's scraping off their end and I'm eating everybody's end. So yeah, I think I'm gonna finish it in here. This was me trying the top 10 French cheese part 1. So I've tried the 5 cheese, and the rest of the 5 cheese which are in my mind I'm gonna try in the next video. And if you have any other suggestion for the cheese for me to try, please do let me know in the comment down below. And any of your suggestion which is out of the box and I should try and I might not have tried before would be entertained in the best possible way. So yeah, if you like this video, like, share and subscribe. And if you have any other suggestion for any other videos, do let me know in the comment down below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. आ रही है? तेज आ रही है? It is so good. And